Welcome back to another episode of We Be Talking.
We be talking, what's the word? Everything you never heard. We be talking,
I am your girl Kim.
Hey, boo.
And we got hey y'all. And we got Ave.
Hey, guys.
And we got Miss Tamara.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
And our girl Sheikah, she ain't here today, but she sends her love.
Yes.
Hey, Sheikah.
Hey, boo.
We also got a special guest here today.
Yeah.
Some of you may know him. Some of you may not, but I'm going to introduce this man that I've been knowing for a pretty long time now. He's my husband, my boo thing, my chocolate drop.
Hey,
Hey.
I just want to say your chocolate drop is not chocolate.
He is chocolate. Okay, my caramel.
It's toffee. It's giving toffee.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey, Mr. Vernon Thomas. Welcome to the show.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show today. Well, before we get started, we want you guys to make sure you like, comment, and hit the subscribe button because we need to hear your views, especially on today. What we're talking about. All right. We're talking about double standards in a relationship. I mean, we're going to try to keep it, intact and keep it on one track, but it can go way to the left or way to the right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For our male viewers out there, we're going to have a male's perspective. We're going to leave this thing in love when we leave, Everybody has their opinion. But this is We Be Talking, so
Yeah, well,
all right. So we're gonna kick this thing off. Mr. Vernon. So
yes,
we're gonna start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why you feel like this would be a good topic for you to be on?
Well, like I said before, thank you guys for having me on. And I feel like this topic of double standard is something that kind of needs to be addressed throughout relationships because, depending on how you see it, the man can get the short end of the stick and the woman can too. So you have to, so that's what I feel like we need to try and put out on the table, get some stuff cleared up, from a spiritual standpoint as to how each person feels about how the double standards go and if they actually favor the woman more or if they actually favor the man more.
Well, I think we need to narrow down a specific topic as to what double standard we are going to address. Tamara, earlier we talked about a girls trip, right? Was that the one on the hit? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Let's
get it.
Tell us a little bit about what you would consider a girls trip. Like if we taking a girls trip, what would be the double standard?
Okay, so I think he was saying that if a guy and his friends decided that they wanted to take a guy trip, that we would probably have a problem with it, but they probably wouldn't have a problem with us. And he was like, well, what if, y'all take a trip, it's a girl's trip, and we don't bother y'all, we don't call y'all, we just call to make sure y'all good or whatever. Why can't we do the same thing? So my thing was, y'all know y'all could trust us. We may not know for sure if we could trust y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like, and I was saying, you have to know your own relationship. You have to know the person you're with. If you know that you could trust the person you're with to go on a guy's trip and know that they're just going to have a good time, then yes. But a lot of people in relationship, they know for sure that they can't trust their man. If they were to go to Vegas, it's going to be, hey, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and they're going to die with that secret. Something's going to happen. They know that. That's why. So women are not just acting crazy. Like, when y'all want to go somewhere, we're not just acting crazy because we crazy. We acting crazy because we know we can't trust y'all. That's why.
I remember him also saying that the man will not call the woman 24/7 and what you doing, who you with, whatever. But we, on the other hand, would be calling all the time, what you doing, who you with, I think
The only reason why he ain't gonna be calling you 24/7 is just because he could say, well, when you was on your trip, I didn't call you 24/7. So when
exactly. So Ave, do you agree with what Tamara just said?
Absolutely. I'm a ride or die type of friend, honey. I agree with everything that came out of her mouth. Sure did. Yes, I co-signed that. But no, she's right about that. I agree with her. I honestly think that the reason why men don't have any concern is because they know that women tend to be more loyal. I'm so sorry. And we make better choices than friends.
Yeah.
And we are less, this ain't gonna be correct English. I'm from South Carolina, so y'all deal with it. We is less easily manipulated.
Oh, okay.
And when I say manipulated, I mean like peer pressure.
Peer pressured. Yeah.
That's what it was. We can sit up to our girl, be like, no, I'm not doing that. Now I'll sing about having a hot girl summer. I'll sing about how dudes ain't nothing. But of course I love my man. I'll be home with my man. But dudes will have a friend that be like, man, you ain't gotta worry about that, man. Come on, we can go here. Take this other drink. Do this. Now you in the strip club, and now you got China, and you done down stuff. You inebriated, and then you gonna come back to me with your tail tucked between your leg, lying top, but you ain't did a doggone thing, knowing you did a whole lot of things.
Oh my. Okay, Bernie.
I don't know if
it's time to defend the men. What do you have to say about what we as women feel about that double standard, as in girls trip and guys trip?
He agreed with us 100%.
So this is what I'm gonna go with my man from Wild 'N Out, Carlos Miller, who patented a saying a couple years back that black men don't cheat.
Oh my God. He lying. He patented a whole lie.
But for real,
and did.
Signed off.
Did she just black out her
black
screen?
men don't cheat. We gonna stick with it. Black men, y'all stick with me. But I got you. So,
God, but do you believe that?
Do I believe that black men don't cheat, or do I believe that men don't cheat in general?
Oh, yeah.
It's up to that man.
That ain't what I asked.
Oh, in other words, no, he don't believe that.
Right.
No, it's not that. It's not that I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's not that I believe it or I don't believe it. It's more.
I mean,
it's really on that man and how he sees himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of men go through a lot of stuff that women don't understand a lot of times, and if we go out and do anything outside of a relationship, it has nothing to do with y'all. It's more of we bored. We're in a state of mind that we need something to do to relax us, to get our minds off of what we actually got going on. And it sounds bad, but a lot of times we use women as our like tool to get away from all of that stuff and end up like messing around with somebody else outside of whatever relationship we're in. Now, to go to this whole double standard about like, oh, y'all said that, man, I'm not gonna call you the whole time while you on your trip or whatever because I don't want you doing the same thing for me. It can go a lot of ways with that. You have men out here that is not gonna let you out of their sight because they're just that type of dude where they want their woman with them 24/7. You got to be careful with those guys because those dudes end up being like them little psychopath dudes or whatever.
Gotcha.
But if your man wants you to really go out and have fun with your girls and all of that stuff or whatever, even if it is away from you, he wants you to do that, and he respects you enough that you're gonna respect him and be able to go out and like behave yourself within the confines or whatever. Like, I'm gonna put it like I'm gonna speak for me. I'm not going to micromanage the fun that my wife gets to have if she decides to go any type of girl trip with her friends. You know, all I need you to do is like be respectful of me. The same thing you would ask of me, be respectful of me, be respectful of the relationship. That way we don't have any issues. There's no secrets or anything like that. Like, you know what you're going out there to do. You just going to have fun with your girls. Y'all gonna go chill. Y'all gonna maybe have a couple drinks. Y'all gonna go see a couple shows depending on where y'all at. Y'all to go to the beach and lounge around. You're gonna look at your eye candy. You're gonna do all of this stuff, whatever. But
hold on right there. So with that, what you just said, you feel like it's a double standard because women don't they do micromanage you guys is fun? Like if you were away?
I would say yes to a certain extent. There are times where depending on how the relationship is and the respect level, the trust level between you and your significant other, then that micromanaging piece won't be there. If we don't give you a reason to micromanage, to feel some type of way, if we were to go out with our friends, and even if we just like down the street or something like that or whatever, and not even out of the city, out of the state or anything like that, like it depends on how their relationship has done. It depends on all the things that have happened beforehand to build up to that, to say, okay, you know what? I know he's good. I know that if he goes here, he goes there. That I don't have to worry about it, or I'm not letting this man out of my sight because I know what he's capable of, type of stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you're basically saying it just depends on the trust level.
It does depend on the trust level.
You know, in the relationship. So double standard, we can't even speak on that if it's strictly
Because it ain't.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, y'all kind of proved my point when you first started too, when we asked about how is it a double standard? Because the first thing that you jumped to was, I don't trust him, so why would I allow him to go out of state with his friends and all that stuff? But listen, like, and allow him to go out of town with his friends, and then it's not that you're micromanaging him or whatever, but you want to know every little piece of what he's got going on where he's there, and you know that he's not going to tell you all of that, for one, because like we really just trying to go out and shoot with the boys. All that other stuff that y'all think we be doing really don't be going on.
Okay.
Oh, Vernon, I know you really standing up for the male gender. But listen,
come on.
He really said he's not gonna let them guys down. Listen, it's almost as if they just cheer him on, like, yeah, bro, yeah. The thing is, I'm not saying that there are no double standards. I'm pretty much, I don't want to say justifying why there's a double standard, but giving a reason why double standards do exist in relationship. So when it comes to the whole trip idea, yes, if me as a woman know that my man likes to creep, okay, and I decide for whatever strange reason to stay with him in his creeping ways, right? And he hasn't changed or anything, and I know he's a creeper. Of course, I'm not gonna feel comfortable with him going on a boys trip to Vegas or anywhere else, because I know that's what he's probably gonna do. Now, even if he doesn't do it, even if he calls me during the trip or whatever, the people that he's hanging out with, you know what I'm saying? Even if his circle is just like that too, they ain't got no problem with just creeping around on their women or whatever, I'm not gonna have no peace. I'm not gonna have no peace. So yes, I'm gonna have a problem with him going to Vegas. Now, for me, I know if I'm with a man, he ain't gotta worry about me cheating. And he's gonna have that reassurance that she ain't gonna do nothing. She might say something, but she ain't gonna do nothing, right? I don't have that same courtesy. Right. I don't have
women don't.
No,
a lot of women don't.
Okay.
So yeah, that part is the double. So when I go on my girls trip, you ain't got to worry about nothing, because you know I ain't gonna do nothing. Right. The most I'll do is look at a guy and be like, oh, he fine, girl. Look at that guy right there, and that's it. That's it. You know. So yes, there is a double standard.
Same thing. Why wouldn't a man be able to do the same thing?
Oh,
because
I know.
You have to think about this too. Like men are visual people. We're visual people.
Answer the question. You can't ask a question and answer the question.
I'm just saying. But okay. Well, go ahead. Give me your answer. I
don't have a problem with my man. I don't have a problem with my man looking at somebody else and say, "Oh, look at her, she's fine." Because number one, he got eyes and he can see. Yes. The same way I see a fine man and I'm like, yo, he fine because I got eyes and I can see. And if he fine, he fine. But when it goes beyond that, that's where I have a problem. Because she could be fine all day. You can't touch her though. Right. When it goes beyond she fine. You know, and I don't mind. Look, when I was married, my ex-husband and I, he used to look at, I remember we were walking in the mall, this girl came in the mall, big old booty, biggest booty I've ever seen. And I seen it first. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. He was like, damn, look at her booty. And we both were looking at her booty. You know what I'm saying? Like, We both were in awe.
everywhere.
The biggest booty I've ever seen on a girl. And it looked good on her. It was proportioned and everything. She looked good with her big old booty. You know what I'm saying? But so I don't have a problem with my man looking at something that he thinks is attractive and even saying, oh, that look good. My problem is when you take it further, we gonna have a problem. You say she fine, okay, boom, end the story. Next.
That's it. Go ahead, Iveka.
Okay.
What I think it comes down to is I do not think that men have the same level of restraint that a woman has.
They don't.
And I think that, and the reason why a woman can confidently say that is because the many men that are in relationships, marriages, that are still running behind tail and trying to get into another woman's DMs and all of this stuff like this. So from a woman's perspective, you're like, y'all ain't got restraint because you're visual creatures. So if your visual, what you see has you like, oh, and then your homeboy's like, dang, and then y'all like, let's go. We're gonna stomp y'all. Cause the Lord, you didn't hear the Lord when you was like, and the Lord's like, the lust of the eyes is not good, my friend. Like, we didn't want to do that. And then your homeboy was like, you see that? And then the lust of the flesh was like, oh hell, we gotta go. And then y'all went. So that's why I think that women have a hard time with that, is because we do not think that you guys have the same level of restraint as we have. And I don't consider it a double standard. I just think that there are different levels of expectations because there are areas where a man is, I don't want to say weaker, but I'll say more
lenient, maybe.
Yeah, like it's a little shaky in the way you view it. Whereas a woman could be like, nah, that's my man. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm down. I'm gonna ride with him for whatever. A guy could be like, yeah, that's my girl. But then you get around your homeboy and you like, I mean, we just talking.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I think that's kind of where that I don't think it's a double standard. I just think that everybody has different, like you were saying, it's just different
expectations. You were saying that.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Courtney.
But let me say this though. I don't think all men are like this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all men.
Of course. Didn't say 100, it's 97. I'm kidding. I joke. I'm sorry.
I do want to make sure that we acknowledge that we
It's a
know
higher number, though.
that we're not like some old bitter women that that have been hurt or whatever. Now we're bitter. We think all men are dogs and cheaters, whatever. I want to acknowledge that I know that there are. I know some. I know men that are faithful, and even if they had indiscretions in the past, that they have moved past that and they are different. They have grown past that and they are different now. They've gone to a level of maturity where they understand what they have at home is so much more than what's out there, right? So I just want to make sure, because I know some guy will be like, y'all out here just bashing all men and this and that. No, I want to acknowledge all the men that I know that from the outside looking in, I could say that they are faithful in their relationships.
Absolutely.
And, so
they all in like their 50s and 60s because that's when they decide they won't settle down, but they are definitely out there.
Yeah. And while you say that too, before he say anything, also there are women out there that act like some of the men that we are talking about. So all women are not, like we said, we could go somewhere to on a girls trip and be all right. Sometimes you see girls trips on thing and they just as raunchy and just as
and it's the same thing. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and it's like this new thing nowadays. This Me Too movement. If men could do it, I could do it too, and this and that. Third, I acknowledge that as well.
Yeah, so but because we are believers on here, so. When we talk about things, we talk about
the mood camp.
We talk about things from a believer's standpoint, So naturally, let's say if us three, four of us all we be talking. If we go out, I think every man that we're attached to, they, like Tamara said, they sleep at night. It ain't no issue.
Ain't gotta worry about nothing.
They gotta worry about it. You know what I mean? But
which is so
majority of the time, the men are usually the ones Ave said, they don't have the same percentage of restraint. You get what I'm saying? All of them, more of them are giving in to the flesh. More of them are giving in to their desire. More of them are letting their hair down when they are away from their spouse or their significant other, just to appease
let their
desires, or they appeasing their friends, their own desires, whatever the case may be. A lot more of them are doing that than women. So that's why it seems like it's a double standard, because there's been a lot more men who have created this I guess this bad boy persona for the majority of men.
Let me ask you this, Vernon. Do you think the reason that, jumping off what Kim was saying, the reason that happens like that, like where some men don't have like the restraint, is because you guys may be looked down upon by your peers? Like, you know how they like to call guys like simps and things of like that. So do you think that may play a role into why men have less restraint? Because it's, or is it that it's not that they have less restraint, they're just because they want to do the right thing, they're just,
it's an ego thing,
right? Like they don't want to be seen as less masculine. I'm just asking. I just toss it.
So I don't care. I'm gonna say why. Because
you don't care what that they.
I don't care what what my homeboys think of me. I don't care how they see me. I don't care if they feel like that what I'm getting ready to do is less of a man. I'm not masculine or anything like that or whatever. I feel like for me, I'm more of a man when I can show the restraint to say, you know what, I can be out with y'all, and I can feel, and I can kick it with y'all and all that stuff, whatever. I can see a nice looking woman or whatever. I can probably go over there and compliment her and tell her how nice and everything she is.
Now you do too much. Hold on.
This is where that double standard portion comes in. So I'll let y'all talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's a bad habit. I'm sorry.
Even if I go over there and say, hey, you know what? You look real nice tonight, right? And walk away. That is it.
But you walk away. That's the thing.
You shouldn't have gone over there to begin with.
Right. But that goes back to the maturity level thing too, that I think Tamara was talking about, or I think it might be, I think it was Tamara, or a combination of Ave and Tamara. As you mature as a man, and as you really go through life and figure out what's really important to you and what you want out of life, that those little things fall off. And then to go back to what Ave was saying before Tamara was, you got to think about today's society. I understand that most of us that when we talk and all this stuff, whatever, it's hard to be single in 2022 with the way that society is set up. And that's on both sides. Like, you got to think, like, a man can't even approach a woman with respect anymore without being looked at as a simp, without being looked at as, boy, get out of my face. You ain't got nothing for me with. Like, you being judged as a man as soon as you walk up trying to talk to a woman, because she didn't once over you and glance over you one time. And then I know this, like, because I've talked to all y'all at one point in time in some type of capacity. Y'all already know what y'all gonna do with that man the first time that you see him. Now it is what you already know whether or not you're gonna, like, what you want to do with him later, if you can see a life with him or anything like that. Gotcha. Just imaginary type of stuff, whatever, off the first appearance, right? Mm-hmm. Now it is up to us as the men not to say something utterly ridiculous to throw y'all off. Because some men don't know how to talk to women. Some men just don't have it in them. They don't know how to talk to women. They come off as overly shy or overly aggressive, and there's really no in between. If you know that in between part and all that stuff, whatever, you're winning. But at the same time, you still have to show some type of restraint when you do that, because you can get turned down. And there's a lot of guys that don't do well with rejection, you know. So
that part.
And that part with the rejection and all this stuff, like if a woman rejects a man, the man has to be man enough to say, okay, you know what? She wasn't feeling me. Let me go ahead about my business. Leave her alone. Have a good day, baby. You do what you do. I'm gonna go on by my way. You wasn't feeling me, so I ain't gonna do that. But that stops a lot of dudes from saying, if we was go out with our boys somewhere and we out drinking. We ain't even got to be out of the state like a whole couple hours away. We can be in the next city over, you know, and we just sitting and chilling and talking or whatever. Like, I can be with my boy. I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? Like, you see her? Yeah, we good. I see her. All right, cool. She look good. If she come over here and say something to us, all right, cool. You can talk all you want to, whatever. But the chances of one of my dudes and me going over and actively talking to one of these girls around here, and especially nowadays, and I'm speaking from a point of not having a ring on your finger, trying to like spark up an actual relationship and all of that stuff. Like, where it's like, okay, I go up to you, and I'm immediately being judged for from head to toe, right? But I have to. But if I come up to you and you respond to me, and I got everything together, and you ain't got all your stuff together, now you looking at me to try and bring you up, because I know a lot of dudes will do this, and this is another part of the double standard thing too. Is not a lot of dudes will take a girl who doesn't have anything going for herself, fix her up, use his own income, his resources and all this stuff to get her on her feet or whatever, and then they go together. But how many women will actually do that for a man? How many successful women?
We've been doing that since the beginning of time.
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish.
How many women for real? Now let's think about now. All right, let's go. Let's not think about like how it used to be, but nowadays, because like nowadays in the 2020s and beyond, because of course it happened before, and men still didn't step up to the plate because of something going on. So they still was deadbeats, even though the girl took over everything for them. I don't like those type of dudes, because I wouldn't want my woman taking care of me.
Well, let me interject real quick. In today's society, you got a lot of girls like, I'm a boss, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You got a lot of girls doing it, right? And so in doing that, they pride themselves on taking care of their man. Oh, he don't gotta want from that, he ain't gotta work from that. A lot of people do that. So it's really not a double standard, because a lot of women do that. A lot of women take care of men, and like you said, I don't necessarily like it either, because the man is supposed to be the provider. The man is supposed to be the protector. He's supposed to be that. But like you said, if they ain't got no ring on their fingers, it's anything goes these days. So you really can't.
That is very true.
Can't say it's a double standard, because men and women are doing it just about on the same level.
So let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this real quick then. Let's take ages and all of that, right?
Okay.
If a man is in his late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, and all that stuff or whatever, and he's single, but he finds interest in a woman 15 years younger than him, why is he considered, oh, he got worms, girl, I don't want to mess with him type of stuff?
Not the worms!
Because that didn't happen.
Not the worms!
Right. But then what happens if a woman is in her late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, and all that stuff, and they go back, but it's cool when a woman does it, but it's frowned upon when a man does it. Oh, you robbing the cradle? Why you messing with that little girl and all that stuff?
Well,
right?
I think
now,
this is, as far as the age is concerned, I feel like it's a certain age for me, because I've seen this guy where his wife is 18 years old.
Oh,
he's 58.
Oh,
he's 58 years old, right? And I think he's a pastor. He was telling the people, y'all mad or whatever. And he was like, this my wife right here, and we sleep good every night, right? That's what he was saying. And so yeah, I think that is frowned upon, because even though they're adults, she's still she's still a child. You know what I'm saying?
I would look bad at it if it was the other way too, though.
Absolutely. If it was the other way around, like a 58-year-old woman and an 18-year-old man,
my 18-year-old child.
Now my son, I would feel a certain way. So I feel the same way. For me, I don't see the double standard in that. I feel the same way when it comes to either one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't see it when you said, like, if he's 40 something, right? And and he's 15 years older than she is. So that means she's like 25, right? Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I wouldn't, me personally, I don't like worms. No. I don't like men that are like extremely older. I don't like men that are a lot older
nobody
than
to
me.
be smelling like Ben Gay and Tiger Bomb and stuff, trying to be all up over you.
Not the tiger
No,
ball.
I don't like men that are like way older than me. Like I think the oldest I'll go is like 10 years. I think I have a habit of dating younger guys. Maybe that's my problem, Lord. Jeez, you hear how the Lord? You gotta know when to tell the Lord thank you. But anyway,
Thank you, Father.
you know, so you know, but I do understand like that can be a double standard. You know, some people glorify when a woman gets a younger man and be like, oh, she a cougar, but when a guy does it, it could be, I see where that double standard is, and I can say that there is a double standard there, that it does exist there. I don't agree with it, but it does exist.
And then let me ask you this question too, then, right? This is just a random question, right? What happens if titles, right? Double standards when it comes to titles. What happens if you a woman and you like to be liberated in a sexual way and all that stuff, whatever? You have multiple partners and this and that, third or whatever. Like, and this comes from both sides. How are you looked at by your peers if you're doing that, right? As a woman,
tram trick hoe. You're gonna be a tram trick hoe, just like the man gonna be a tram trick.
But why though?
It's because
if that's what she want to do. If that's what she wants to do, who are we to judge her on that?
Absolutely.
No. It's not about judging.
And the same thing. But it's the same thing with a man too. Like it can go both ways, right?
Yeah.
It's a two-edged sword. Like it's gonna cut both ways. If a man is out here, a man then ran through the whole block, right? All the chicks on the block and all that stuff, whatever, right? Say a woman runs through a fourth of those men.
She a hoe too.
She a tram trick hoe, just like he a tram trick hoe. But they both are
but which one is worse?
To be tram trick hoes.
Which one is worse?
Because he got more people.
Okay, so he is worse on his side, right? But
because you said he ran through the whole block. You said he ran through the whole block, and she only ran through a quarter
of the block. But she also can be looked at as the same thing too, because women, when stuff like that, and this is coming from a man's standpoint, I don't want no woman that's been ran through like that. I don't want no woman that's
well, from a women's standpoint, we don't want men that has run through the whole block. That's the double standard.
Exactly.
A man will get up and say he
don't.
Hoes. Yeah, my thing is a man can get up and say he want a virgin. He don't want nobody that's been ran through, but yet
but he be running through. But he be running through all these women.
That's the double standard.
It's all everything we're talking about is all double standard, so it goes both ways on each side, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do is give people something to think about. You know?
It comes down to like the whole patriarchy aspect of it. Personally, I feel like if you, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but if you are the type of woman that's like you enjoy having sex and you want to go and explore your sexual being, and you are obviously at the point where you can care less what anybody thinks. However, in this society, there is a higher, almost like an honor placed on a woman's sexual rating, I guess, like how many she has, whereas a man, like a woman's expected to be chaste, whereas a man is not, you know. And so then I think the mindset has to start from a child. Of course, nobody need to be out there getting ran through, running through. But if thou hast decided to run the track of sexual exploitation, we would just hope that thine would protect thine self and realize that everybody that you lay with is a spirit that you can pick up.
Come on.
Very true.
And you want to be mindful of that you are not picking up various spirits from the many people that you are laying with, and you're trying to figure out, why the heck am I dealing with this? I've never dealt with this before in my life, and all of a sudden, like, I'm dealing with really bad depression, or I'm having this real bad anxiety, and I've never dealt with this stuff. Because there is a transmission that occurs when you sleep with someone. Go ahead.
So with that, like, you think about all your past relationships and all that stuff, the serious ones, the ones that you was like, okay, I think I can see myself in the future with this person, right? And it don't work out. And we know that when, like, we've been taught in our ministry that there is you take on that person, a bit of that person every time. You're spiritually married to a person when you have sex with them, and if it is not somebody that you want to be with, you have a piece of every person that you've ever slept with that's crawling around in you, and it's up to you to like seek God and get delivered from all of that stuff, so that you can then go into a new relationship fresh and unmarried to all those other spirits and all of that, right? But if you're not there, you'll find yourself dealing with somebody, and you'll be thinking about every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you've been through, or every Jane, Lisa, and Mary that you was with before, and how they did you versus the person that you got going on with you right now. Right? So I wholeheartedly agree with you, Ave, with what you're saying with that point. Is like you got to be really careful, and you have to guard yourself when you come there, because that way you don't fall into some of these double standards that we're talking about right now. You know, that way we don't have to be worried about, okay, am I being fair to my significant other? Am I being fair? You know, because now the trust level is there, the communication and stuff is there. Now I can say, okay, I trust you enough to go out with your girls for a weekend in Richmond, 2 hours away. I can drive to Richmond and get you if I wanted to, if you out there acting a fool or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But will I need to do that? You know, if I built that relationship, if I built that trust with you to say you can go wherever you want to go and have a great time, and I would want to be able to have that same respect and that same area of safeness, and that you know that if I am away from you for more than a day, that I know how to act accordingly, so that when we get back together, it'll be just that much more special. You know.
That's beautifully.
Yes, but I think it's the environment you create, though.
That's
exactly. where that comes from. That doesn't come lightly, especially if there was some things that happened in the past.
Right.
You know, in order to regain that trust. It takes a lot. Yeah. You know, so you have to recreate. You have to. It takes a lot when a woman decides that she wants to stay with someone that has done that before, and when you are looking at her and expecting her to be like, well, why you don't trust me? I understand. Well, the reason why she don't trust you is because of what happened in the past. Yes. Yeah. Is it wrong for her to be like, I'm holding on to this happened in the past and I'm holding on to it? No, it's completely wrong for her to do that. And at some point she got to look within herself and be like, okay, well, am I still holding him accountable for something that I have forgiven him for? He has forgiven him. God have forgiven him, and I'm still punishing him because of whatever insecurities I have within myself. That's something that the woman will have to work out within herself. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the guy, I feel like you have to create an environment to where she feels like, okay, well, I could trust him. I see him trying, and I see he's doing so much better. Yeah, I could trust them. But if that environment isn't there and all we got to go off is your word, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you have to. So in those cases, you definitely have to rebuild trust, especially even if it's on the woman's side that did the infidelity, and the man decided to stay.
Either side,
you know, on either side, both of you have to come to like this mutual, like safe place to say, okay, look, I see where you've grown from the mistakes and stuff that you've made before. You've seen where I've grown from the mistakes and stuff that I made before.
Absolutely.
How do we not put ourselves where it's a double standard where you can do whatever you want to do, but I can't, type of stuff, or vice versa? You know, so like you said, it has to be an environment that is created out of, okay, we have to communicate. I have to talk to you. You have to talk to me. And if we are away for more than a couple of days or something like that, we got to keep them lines of communication and stuff open, so that each person can know, like, look, I know I'm away from you
every time.
Yeah, but it's not that I got to call you every 5 minutes or every hour on the hour type of stuff, whatever. But that, I know we was using that as a joke and micromanaging each other and all that stuff earlier. But you don't have to do that portion if you've built up that environment. You've built that relationship to a place where you don't have to worry about that. I can let you go and do whatever you want to do with your friends and all that stuff. And I want you to do the same thing for me. And we both have the mutual respect and love for each other to say, you know what? Yes, I see what the temptations is. Yes, I see that nice looking man right there that's coming towards me, trying to get my number and all this stuff, whatever, smelling like the best cologne that you've ever smelled in your life or whatever. He has everything that you're looking for and whatever man prototype that you thought that you wanted as a little girl when you was picturing your Prince Charming. You know what I'm saying? He looks exactly like your Prince Charming. He has everything that you wanted in him, but he's not the one that you go home with every night. So you have the reserve to say, okay, you know what? I see you. And yeah, you a bad boy. You a bad man, but I can't do nothing with you. I'm not on that level because I don't want to disrespect where I'm at. And it's the same thing on the man. Like we play with G.I. Joes and kung fu grips, and we got Transformers and all kind of Ninja Turtle action figures and all that stuff that we grew up with. We see a Barbie doll that we come walking up to us and all that stuff, and she has everything that we might have thought that we wanted in a woman when we were growing up, fantasizing and all that stuff. What do I want in my wife? What do I want in my girlfriend and all that stuff, right? And we either we approach her or she approaches us. If I'm gonna approach somebody like that, hey, you know what? And I'll say that I'll say it like this: you're a beautiful young lady, and I will leave it at that. I ain't asked your name. I don't want to know your name. You don't need to know my name. I just want to give you a compliment, let you, and maybe make your day for the day, and walk off and go about my business.
But you could do me one better and not even say nothing because it ain't your business to make her day better.
Now,
How I feel.
now I understand that part. Yeah. Now, who's the pursuer? Who's the pursuer naturally?
Who's
Who is the hunter, the pursuer naturally?
But you're not hunting them.
Now, you're not hunting anything. You're not hunting anything. But what is the problem with a man saying that to another woman and nothing is exchanged?
Well, there's to me, there's no problem.
Especially if you don't have any issues with them and you trusted them enough to be able to do that.
I
right?
just feel like that's just an opening. That's like cracking the door a little bit open and giving a little way for something possibly.
Why is it different if a man comes and does it to you then? Because he came up to you and did the same thing.
I can. Okay, so
but what if he comes up to you and says, you know what? I don't know your name. I don't think I want to know your name or whatever, but I just want to let you know that you are beautiful, you're gorgeous, and I walk off by myself. How is that going to make you feel? How is it going to make you feel?
Listen, this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. It's different if we're talking about individually. I'm not going to walk up to a man and be like, oh my gosh, sir, you're so fine and this and that. I'm not. I could be thinking that, I could say it, but my thing is, you don't have to do it either. If you see a beautiful woman, you could even say it to yourself. She's beautiful. Why do you have to walk up to her and tell her that she's beautiful? Because that's gonna make her day. Why is making her day any of your concern? Whether her day is made or it's not made, it's not your business. Right. So you could just acknowledge that she's beautiful and let it go. Why you gotta go the extra mile to be like, excuse me, ma'am, you beautiful. Now what if she start following you? What if she start following you and she's so fine and she's following you back to your hotel room and you can't resist?
Yes, you can.
Because but what
you couldn't resist telling her she's beautiful, Brandon. What you mean you can resist?
You can resist
giving a compliment.
So just I gave a compliment. That's more than getting a number. That's more than trying to get you up to my room. That's more than trying to get back into your pants and all that stuff. I ain't tell you what my name was. You didn't tell me what your name was. I didn't care.
Brandon, I think what you're missing is I think that extra step a lot of men take that extra step
and it opens up the door.
Yeah, it creates an environment.
And I see exactly where you're coming from when you say that. It'll open it. It now is open up an opportunity.
Right.
For something to potentially happen, right? But the key words and all those things is the opportunity and potential.
Okay, so stop there, right? So a married man, we just talking about a married man.
Yeah, we're not just talking a married man. You married.
Yeah, if you're single, that's totally different. You get what I'm saying? If you are a married man, then that is disrespectful.
Married.
If you're married, so it's really not a double standard. It's a respect thing, you know. I as a woman, a married woman, would not. I don't care. I'm like Tamara. I don't care if I thought it. Would not go up to a man and tell him he's handsome and
no.
I wouldn't do that. That's disrespectful to my partnership. That's disrespectful to my marriage.
Okay.
But a lot of men think the way you do and think that everything it's okay for me to go compliment a woman. you know, it,
But what if Kim, Vernon, let me ask you this on a personal note though.
right.
If Kim were to do that to see a man and be like, "Dang, he's so fine," she couldn't resist but to go up to him and say something.
Right.
How would that make you feel? That you
Honestly?
knew
Oh,
honestly.
not even just a little bit thrown off. You know what I mean?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that I totally dismissed the whole thing.
But it's
That
okay for
you did
you.
that.
It's okay for
But
a
I,
man.
so
to
I'm not saying it. What I was getting at was more of from a single standpoint. I understand exactly where you guys are coming from when it comes to a marriage relationship and all that stuff, right? Huh?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
But no, but also too, like I think like this, like what happens if we watching TV together or whatever, right? And you see like a Mari Hodrick type of person, or like a Derek Luke, or Denzel Washington, whatever your flavor is of the day, or whatever man that's on that movie screen acting his behind off and all that stuff, and y'all say whatever y'all want to say about them, regardless of the joking manner and all that stuff or whatever. You say what you say, but would you allow your man to say the same thing and do the same thing when it comes to whatever woman that's on the screen that he likes and whatever?
You can't touch him.
If we're watching TV
You know what I
and
mean?
we're talking about celebrities that you will not have access
So you
to.
you ain't finna reach over there and smack him or something like that, or say, okay, that's enough. Okay, that's enough. Don't you now? You just said too much. Y'all not gonna go there.
No,
You're not gonna
me
go there.
personally, no, I don't care.
I have, but it wasn't in a sense. I think you.
Okay.
I think you get to a point where you wholeheartedly, if you honestly. Can you honestly say you believe that I would be disrespectful?
No.
You get what I'm saying?
I have something that's gonna kind of like, and y'all can go with me, or y'all can't. It's gonna make sense though.
Don't let this go here.
It's gonna make sense though.
Okay.
So let's think about this, right? We create double standards for ourselves all the time. We create an environment where there's going to be a double standard for men and women.
Okay.
We create them out of just lack of knowing each other. You restrict yourself from doing certain things when you either with or without your significant other because of what you might think they say. And that's more for men a lot of times too, because we get to a point where we're like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fuss and fight. I don't want to hear about what I did and what I didn't do, how I was supposed to do it and everything. So the biggest thing for me to do is just be quiet, put my head down and keep grinding, right? So men, I feel like a lot of men get themselves in those type of situations where like, I just want it to be over. I don't want to argue. I don't want to do it. So I'm gonna uphold this double standard. I'm gonna allow my woman to be able to do whatever she wants to do and everything. And I'm gonna just deny myself some pleasure that I might want to be able to do. And women do the same thing. Huh?
I said you got to be specific.
It's not about specifics. It's more of a generalized thing. Like in general, a lot of men will put themselves in a category of, I don't want to argue with you about where you go and what you do, how you do it. Because if I go somewhere
and to be able to go where you want to go and do what
I'm not looking for permissions to be able to go and do anything. My thing is what men and women do sometimes, and it's probably what puts us in some of the situations that we're in with the relationships is we'll allow society, we'll allow everything around us to dictate how we live our lives, and then we allow the double standards to be there. Whereas you don't have to have a double standard. If you want to be sexually liberated on either side, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? By all means, from a public health standpoint, be careful. Yeah. You know, be careful with what you do if you're gonna do something. You're gonna be out there.
I don't know if I agree. If we're talking about single people, all right. But if we're talking about married people, it's two totally different things. You know what I mean? So that's why I say you have to be specific when you say we create double standards for ourselves. Yeah. Like how in a married situation would you create a double standard?
If you mess up somewhere along the early stages of your marriage and all of that stuff, right? And you guys have talked it out, you've argued about it, you said your pieces and all that stuff, y'all still together. regardless, the person who did the infidelity or whoever the one that messed up is the one that is creating a standard within themselves that you may think that, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, because if I ask this question, then it's going to automatically trigger some things in my significant other, to the point where it's like, now I'm putting myself in a box. Like, double standards to me is like, right now I'm thinking about it, it's putting yourself in a box. Like, why should you be able to do things that I can't do?
Well, it's a consequence. I feel like it's a consequence of
your
behavior.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at too. It is consequences and everything, but what happens when you get to a place where them consequences don't matter anymore? How do you move past to the point of, hey, I know I messed up, but this is where I am. You know where I am. You've seen what I've done since then. Can I do this? And I'm gonna, and like,
okay,
is it okay to do this part?
I think I understand. So I think what I hear you saying, Vernon, is that, okay, so you've apologized. You've shown that you've grown. You've done all these things to create a positive environment to where you feel like she should trust you now. You know what I'm saying? Is it something like that you say?
Yeah,
but she still don't. But she still don't. She still feel like anything you do.
Now, I'm not saying that this is like a current thing, but I'm just saying like this is what
No.
I feel
in
like
general,
in
that's
general,
what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like that does happen a lot. That really does happen a lot, where the person who did the indiscretion, whether it be the man or the woman, they have spent so much time trying to prove to the other person that, okay, that's in my past. I'm sorry. I will never do it again. I've grown from it. That's not something it's even interesting to me anymore. But the person that was hurt can't seem to let go. Yes, that's a double standard. And I feel like it is a consequence of what was done. But at what point do you let go of it? And why do you keep punishing somebody for something that they've done for so long? But sometimes it's almost as if, man, I could be doing whatever I want to do anyway, because you're going to think I'm going to do, whatever. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. And yes, it's I don't want to say it's a double standard. It's just a consequence.
I'm with you, Tamara.
It's unfair to both sides. It's unfair to the person who got hurt, and it's unfair to the person who did the hurting, who's now been so, remorseful, but still can't get any kind of relief from the other person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it comes with forgiveness. Healing, and I feel like it's unrealistic expectations for the person who did the crime to say you should be over it. You know what I mean? They kind of like make the person be healed, be free from the hurt and the pain, when they were not the one that suffered the hurt or the pain. So you go into the new, okay, we started fresh, we started new. It's unrealistic expectation of when it's put on a clock. When am I going to be able to go out with my boys and not have to call you every 5 minutes? When am I going to be able to, say certain things or do certain things that does not trigger the person that they hurt? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think whether man or woman created the problem, they then go into the makeup time with unrealistic expectations. You can't tell a person when enough is enough, especially without Christ, because if Christ is not even in it in the first place, it's going to be hard for them to forgive. It's going to be hard for them to let it go. It's going to be hard for them to, allow the relationship to grow. So I definitely think it can be a double standard. It can be unfair. It really can. But like, those consequences are going to be there regardless. So I feel like if you cannot handle the pressure of being held accountable every time you leave, every time you do something out of the ordinary, every time, you got to hide conversations. You got to, if you've already put yourself to be, unfaithful, there's a consequence, like you said, that you have to live with your significant other not being able to, fully let their guard down, fully, let their emotions not run away with them. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, both sides, if you are on the side of being hurt, you can come up with all kind of stuff in your mind about what the person is doing. They could be doing absolutely nothing. You get what I'm saying? If you're acting out of the ordinary, they mind can go everywhere. It's you know, it's just the nature of the beast. But if you have Holy Ghost, you know, and you have the ability to forgive and really act on that and really, you know, then you got something there. But if you don't, it's unrealistic expectations on both parts, because you expect me to love and nurture and keep on doing these things for you, but my mind goes somewhere else when you don't act and do what you say you're going to do. So a lot of men find themselves in that situation. Not a lot of women, because men can't really take what
they dish out.
Right. And I stand by that. They will not stick around like some women stick around. You
They
know,
can dish it out, but they can't take it.
Right.
So then this for when you're saved, we're in a relationship, we're in marriage, or you're being courted, right? Do you have to? So is it safe to say that, like, look, just like double standards are put on us by society?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you don't have. Yeah, because let's think about it. If you really get into a relationship with somebody, regardless of what you do and what the other person does or whatever, if y'all do it together and y'all built that together, then that shouldn't be a standard at all. It's like this is the double standard. We're not gonna worry about it. It's just a standard. The standard is this: how we're gonna act when we with each other and when we're away from each other. We're gonna have respect. Yeah. We're going to have love. We're going to have remorse if something goes on and something goes wrong. You know, like this is where, like,
the maturity.
That's where the maturity part comes in. I don't feel like that I need to have a double standard, something that works for you. If you do it, it's all good. But if I do it, then all hell breaks loose, right? But if we're at a place when we're together, the standard is we're going to respect each other. We're going to love each other. We're going to do what we got to do to protect each other. You know, so I would say, like, yeah, we're talking about double standards, but does there actually need to be a double standard?
No, I don't think, not in a relationship, not in a saved relationship. What goes for you goes for me. I feel like that's my opinion. Now,
in a mature relationship, yeah.
Because once you get to a mature relationship, y'all both working for a common goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, there's no the standard is, what are we going to accomplish together? You know,
I'm sorry.
What you thinking over there?
Ave is not feeling this.
I do believe that double standards should not exist. I do not believe that double standards exist because of society. I believe that double standards exist because of a lack of accountability. I believe that double standards exist because of a lack of mutual respect. Because I think a conversation of respect needs to be had. So then you know what I consider disrespectful. I know what you consider disrespectful. So then that way we don't find ourselves in those territories. But if I find it disrespectful, I asked my husband this at one point. Hey, boo. I had said to him, I was like, let me ask you a question. So he has a friend that's a girl. My best friend is a guy, right? I do believe that men can have friends of the opposite sex as well as women can have friends of the opposite sex, just because, like you said, it has to come down to maturity. My best friend is married. His wife knows me. She's okay with it. My husband knows my best friend. When we first got married, I stopped talking to my best friend because he didn't feel comfortable with me talking to my best friend. He felt some type of way, right? And so even though, like, me and this cat literally grew up, he's like a brother because I'm older than him. But because it made my husband uncomfortable, I didn't talk to homeboy, right? I respected him. Like, even if he was deployed and me and my best friend were in the same place, he was like, I don't want that. I don't want you to talk. Okay, baby, cool. Okay, cool. Whatever. Because I realized that you're not at the level where I am in that relationship. And so what I don't want to do is create a double standard. Y'all were supposed to say that, but that's okay. I didn't let you.
Yeah, we got you. Oh, we got you.
Listening.
So here he had has a girl that was on the ship that he was cool with, the whatnot. And so I had a problem with it because I did not feel that the same respect was given when it came to I don't know how I really feel about this, right? Then he was coming at me with the, I mean, what do you mean? You don't trust me? That's exactly what I'm saying, sir.
Yeah, you didn't trust me with mine.
You didn't trust me with it, so I don't understand how.
Yeah.
But to him,
Clear double
he
standard.
saw that right. To him, it's like, I mean, if I tell you nothing's going on, nothing's going on. No, when I said that, I thought that it was like, dude, that's disrespectful. I don't think that should be. He did not see it like that. Now, Ray Charles can see this. Okay. Yeah. I just felt like homeboy did not want to see what I was saying. Caused a huge thing. So I was like, well, you and Lo at the end, y'all can go exit stage left, because what she nothing to do is pay back up when she is the main attraction.
Come on,
that's
now.
What I'm not going to do. So if you can't see where I'm going with this, especially when I gave the respect of someone, you know what I mean? Like this was like my brother. Him and my brother were good friends. Like our families grew up, but you didn't feel that way. So to me, I think double standards come down to a whole respect thing and the lack of accountability. I don't think that double standards come from society. I honestly think it's I want to have my cake and eat it too type situation. And so then I pick and choose what things that may not be an issue for me.
Yeah.
But I'll lie and say it's an issue for me.
Come on.
Well, then that way, when the tables is turned, I can be like, well, what you mean? Because now remember, babe, now hold on, babe, now remember, because now back then, I'm like, we ain't about to do this 7 years ago. Our fathers brought forth, and we're not going there, Ike. We're not going there. So that's just my view on that, because we have a lot of that in my relationship.
But that's clear though.
It is absolutely. That's good that you brought that up. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you mind me sharing, Vernon, but in the beginning of our marriage, we're not gonna say no names. In the beginning, we had that same issue. Like he had a best friend, right? Mm-hmm. And it was female, and I'm just like, okay, you no longer have a best friend that's outside of this marriage, because I'm supposed to be your best friend, right? That's how I felt, and we had our argument for maybe 2 weeks, about this whole thing. He could not see how him having another female as a best friend felt disrespectful to me, when you know what I mean?
I feel it.
I don't even know like how I don't remember what your rebuttal was, Vernon. If you remember why you were saying that it was okay, I don't remember what your
so that stemmed back from, that was something that was given to us before we met Ave, before we met Tamara. Is I think it was one of the it was either a senior pastor or maybe it was an apostle. They basically came to our church and said, like, you have any basically.
No, I felt that way before that.
No, I know, but this is something that happened, and it pretty much now this is something part of a double standard portion too that I can see, and it probably was wrong at the time too when we were doing it, because we were so young in it. But we were told it was basically, it went to the men, and it seemed like it was totally around the men, but all the men in the church who had a girlfriend or a fiance or a wife at the time, we needed to get rid of all of the female phone numbers out of our phone, regardless of relationship status that you had with them. You shouldn't have their phone numbers or anything in your phone. I don't remember if the females had to do the same thing to get rid of all the males.
We didn't have to do that.
Phones, but that was part of a double standard thing too. It's like, why does the men have to do it, but the women don't have to do it, type of stuff. Now I get where you're coming from, because I do remember that.
I remember you talking about that.
That's why I think that's where it came from, and
oh yeah, you tried to hold on to that number.
That was your
best friend. And I'm like,
and I honestly understand where Ave was coming from and what she said, and the things that I'm hearing, the things that keep ringing over and over and over again about this whole topic and everything. And Ave brought up a extremely important portion of it. Is one thing we've been talking about is I've been speaking on love, and I was speaking on and we've all spoke on respect, and the third thing that just came out that what they literally just said that made all the sense in the world is an accountability thing. So there shouldn't be, especially in the believer setting and in our relationships and all that stuff, a double standard. If you have love, you have respect, and you're accountable to that person. You know, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, Ivy, when you said, okay, I don't think it's a media thing. The media portion of it takes it and runs it and twists it because all they want is drama. What's going to drive the next topic? Because our society is built on chaos.
But there are some societal double standards, though. There are some societal double standards. For example, if you have a son and a daughter, the same you teach your son differently than your daughter. It's okay for your son to have a girlfriend at a young age.
Come on. Yeah.
But it's not okay for your daughter. That's some societal thing because it's okay for a man to, you got a girlfriend. Yeah. But at the same time, who he messing around with? Somebody's daughter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's for me, that's a societal double standard.
It is. You
know?
Now you're right. I didn't think about that one, but like even with that though, it's still a respect level with your children too. If you want to go that way,
absolutely.
I want my children to grow up and be respectful of themselves.
Yes,
first,
right.
And so be respectful of yourself. I done taught you what you needed to be taught. If you decide that you feel like that you are mature enough to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, regardless of which the sex is, I want you to come talk to me. I want you to come talk to your mother. Let's see. If you're really ready to actually have that, because yes, every man is going to want his son to go out there and explore and all that stuff, and he's going to take care of and he's going to nurture his daughter.
Every man wants their son to go out.
Right. But the moment his daughter does that, but if his daughter does that, she's going to be a trencher cow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, every man is going to think about this too. I got a daughter. I got to do everything I can to make sure my daughter don't end up on.
I wish every man would think about it. I wish every man would think about it like that because every man don't think about it.
They don't.
Like that.
Right.
They don't.
And
even if they have a daughter at home, they still is okay with their sons being tramp trick hoes, but their daughter's got to be a safe.
And the thing, and even with that, I don't want my son to act like that either, bro. Don't look. Get you one that wants the same thing that you want. Don't just be out there running through people because I know I made that mistake when I was younger. You know, I don't want that same thing that my son is going to have to go through, or what I don't want that what I went through to be trickled down to him. You know, I know that he's going to be attractive and all this stuff, but I don't want him to utilize his good looks for wrong.
So, question for you though, Vernon. So, when you were younger and you were, like you said, you were running through whatever, you had fun, right? It was fun. What are you going to tell your son?
It wasn't fun. So the thing was,
it was fun
for the time.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
For the time being.
It was fun for the time being.
In that moment. But when you go back and you're by yourself and you got to sit at them four walls, you got to look at TV, you got to play a game all by yourself, you ain't got nobody there with you. That's where it gets extremely boring.
Yeah, your life is like, what are you going to tell your son?
This is what I'm saying. What are you going to tell your son? Because to him, when he gets to that age, if he chooses to do that, it's going to be fun for him. And then if you tell him that you did it, he's going to look at you like, Dad, you a hypocrite. You did it, but you telling me not to do it. What you mean? And it's fun. So why can't I do it? What will you say?
Do as I say, not as I do. No,
I don't even know if I want to say do as I say, not as I do.
I'm kidding.
Like I would tell my son, like, hey, look, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, but what did I get out of it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What did I get out of it? What did I end up with?
I'll tell you what he got out of it.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking you think about what a society is right now. They're gonna
but the thing is this is what happens too if he decides he's gonna go out there. Like, it takes two people to get into that type of act where, okay, I'm out here doing what I do, and now my consequence is I'm 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, and now I got a baby on the way, and I ain't got no job. I ain't even graduated high school. There's that part right there is happening every day in our society also.
Absolutely.
So what do I want my son to say? Okay, cool. I don't want you to look at me like I wasn't above messing up and making a mistake, because I went out there and had my fun, right? What I want you to do is be careful. if you're gonna be out there doing something like that,
He
because
should be out there doing nothing. No worries.
I know I ain't worried about it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be out there, I'm gonna give you all the tools and the knowledge. I'm gonna try and scare you to the point where you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want these issues.
That doesn't work
That
though.
don't
That only
work.
works for
I
the
know
wives.
it don't
Their
work.
tactics
I know
work.
it don't work, but
No.
the tactic is I'm gonna put it in his mind, like, okay, if you're gonna do it, think about what could potentially happen if you go and you ain't protected yourself. Think about what potentially happen if you go and now you done made a baby, or now you done caught something that could be cured or something that can't be cured. You know what I'm saying? These are the things I need you to understand and think about what's going on before you make those decisions. If you make your decision and you still go out there and do it, at least I've done my part, which is giving you the knowledge and say, hey, look, you know what you're getting yourself into. And
And
then
that's breaking that cycle.
Now with my girl, I'm gonna tell them, like, yo, I'm not gonna, I thought about this.
You're gonna be harder on her than you would.
I'm not gonna be harder on her. I know why some of the women act the way that they do now, and I'm gonna say this in a negative way.
Okay.
Because me being a father that I am, I already know what I'm going to do with my daughter, right?
Okay.
I'm going to teach her how a man is supposed to treat her. I'm going to teach her how she's supposed to be treated, what she's supposed to expect, right?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm going to try and do that for her. There are a lot of little girls who have toxic fathers who don't do little stuff like that.
Yeah, no fathers at all.
Or don't have a father. That now they're out there thinking that somebody owes them something.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that my daughter, I don't need you in my life. I want you in my life. I can do for myself. Because you're here is because I'm allowing you to be here. I don't need you. I'm gonna teach her to be able to do that. And my son.
You better say it.
You don't need another person to be in your life. You can want them to be there and be able to do by yourself. You know, I'm gonna teach my daughter. I'm like, yo, you can have your fun, yes, but use your mind. You're more than your look.
Right.
You're more than your curves. You're more than your smile.
Yes.
If they can't get on your intellectual level,
come on now.
Leave them alone.
Make them feel safe.
If they can't make you feel safe, they may not have any money right now.
Okay.
That man may not have any money right now, but if he's working towards something to build himself, that's going to impress me, because now I know you thinking. Now I know that you're looking at what you got going on. Same thing with my son. Now, if
but everybody don't feel that way about their son and they don't.
I understand that, but with my son, I'm gonna have him look at it like, you don't want no girl that can't do for herself. If she can't come in, you got $100, you take it on a date. If she ain't got $20 to $30 with her, don't mess with her. Because if she expecting you to do everything right off bat, you don't need to mess with that one. She needs to be able to meet you. She needs to be able to meet you somewhere. It ain't got to be in the middle, but she got to be able to meet you somewhere.
Listen, I agree with you 100%, but I also would like to point out a double standard that I heard in all that you said. Now, listen, we had another conversation before, and I don't know if it was Vernon who said it, but we had a conversation about women who are just like how you are raising your daughter to be. I don't need you. I want you though, but I don't need you. And how some men feel like, because some men need to be needed by a woman, right? And some men feel like, you want to be a boss and you want to do this. You a boss chick because you don't need me and all of that. Right? Do you not think that that's a double standard, that you teach your daughter to be that way? Yet,
but I said that too, though.
Wait. Yet some men expect some women to be a damsel in distress.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, look. Now I did say that too, though. I did put that part out there that is being created like that in a negative way. I spent it and made it in a positive way, but I meant to put it in a negative way. That yes, there are women out there that are doing that. Like, a lot of men are intimidated by women who have their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with somebody who they feel like they're not needed by. You know what I'm saying? Of course, every man wants to feel needed. They want to feel wanted. You know. And vice versa, a woman wants to feel needed, a woman wants to feel wanted. There are certain roles that society has put on us and culture has put on us.
Societal double standards.
Right. That a man is supposed to do and what a woman is supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But what happens when you mix all of this stuff? I can do just as much stuff as my wife knows how to do, and she can do just as much stuff as I know how to do.
That part.
You know,
Or
so
So
if that's where their respect comes in. That's where the accountability, that's where their love, that's where the communication people and stuff come in, right? Yes, there are going to be some women out there that are going to be taught by their dads and by their mothers. You don't need nobody. You can do this by yourself. But in reality, everybody needs somebody somewhere at some
So
time.
what about the boys though? What are you teaching your son? So you're teaching your daughter to be essentially very independent, right? And so how do you teach your son to not feel like he's less than or feel like he's being emasculated when he meets a young lady that has all her stuff together and don't really need him but wants him? You know, how is he going to feel as a man? Because I know men feel differently about it than some women.
So what I'm going to teach him is to be present.
okay.
To be present in a relationship. Yeah, she got her stuff together, but do you? Make sure you got your stuff together too before you approach somebody that you think has their stuff together. That way, if it don't work, neither one of y'all are hurt.
Right.
You know,
or with all your stuff, you can come over and build
y'all can build together. Now y'all putting y'all stuff together. Like, I want you to have your stuff together before you try and bring. And this is a thing that a lot of men make mistakes at. Like, we try and bring somebody into our world when we don't have our world together. Now we
ain't got no world to bring nobody in.
But that's the thing. Now we're looking for the woman to come in and fill gaps and try and make up for what we don't, what we lacking. And of course, vice versa, you need somebody to fill those gaps where you're lacking and all that stuff, whatever. But men make a mistake of not having their stuff together first. Because this is the Bible does teach us that you have to you got to build your house and bring your woman into it.
Man,
make her a place where she feels comfortable, feels secure, and all that stuff. If it's an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment or whatever, had a thing decked out, have her be able to come in and say, you know what, this is your space now. You can be comfortable here with me. You know, I may not have a lot, but I'm going out here trying to make it. I'm trying to go out here and do it for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to teach my son that portion. Go out and do something on your own before you try and bring somebody else in, because a lot of men, black men, and actually it's not even black men, it's men in general, because a lot of white guys, a lot of Hispanics, Asians, every race of man does this at some point in time, or somewhere along the lines where they don't have everything together, but then they bring a woman into shambles. And now she's not, now there's a whole lot of stuff that's going to come up. There's going to be depression on both sides. There's going to be infidelity that could potentially happen on both sides, because now, like, okay, why did you bring me here as a woman? You looking at him like, you brought me here. Now you ain't doing nothing, or you ain't got it all together. Now I got to help you bring it all together. And if I don't have my stuff, I don't know what to bring to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of men looking for a woman to come in and fill the role of what their moms was doing when they were at home, where your wife is not going to be your mom. She's supposed to be your help. She's the one that's supposed to be there, that's going to help you and build you from where you are, or y'all going to build this thing together. But if I'm going to teach my son to have something first.
Absolutely.
Have something first. Don't go in half-stepping. Like, you got a car? Cool. You got a house? You got at least an apartment or something like that? I'll help you get started. I will help you get started so you can see how it is, and show you the ropes of how to be able to stand on your own 2 feet before you try and bring somebody into your world.
Right.
But you also at the same time got to use your mind too, and know that you're not going to bring trash into clean. Clean and dirty don't mix.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, somebody gonna end up getting beat up in here. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna do that. So you got to bring somebody that has the same level, or trying to reach that same level as you are. Y'all got to come and go because y'all have sat down and talked before anything physical has ever transpired, to see where y'all are. Of course, the physical is always going to be there, because you're going to have this attraction to this person the way you want to be with them like that. It's a natural thing. We're all human beings. It's going to happen. You know, but are you going to be strong enough to say, okay, before I get to a physical portion with you, what can we do? I see myself being able to do X, Y, and Z with you.
I wish people would do that before they get physical.
Right. Well, another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that men, when they get together like that, They need to carry the vision. A woman needs
Right.
somewhere to go. I need to follow you, but where we going? You know,
Right, because I'm not gonna follow you.
7-Eleven.
Right.
Devil is a lie.
right. I need.
No.
I think we need to put that in our sons, in our daughters. That if they don't have a vision, they don't have a plan. They don't have the in the driver's seat to know where we going.
Then they can't
And-
lead you.
Right.
Right.
Why? And as a woman, we're nurturers. We gonna put together that bread and that meat that you bought, and we're gonna put it together and make a sandwich. You get what I'm saying? But if you ain't got no bread and no meat, you don't have no.
We ain't got
vision.
nothing to work with.
Right.
And
And then I'm gonna
exactly
get
what-
my own bread and
And
my
I'm
own
gonna get
meat,
my
and
own.
you're gonna be
That's-
looking
yeah.
crazy.
And
I'm
that's,
getting my
and that's
own.
why I want to teach my son exactly that. You know, I want you to be, hey, bro, have something. So give her a starter kit. If she got a starter kit, she'll work wonders for you. Give her a starter kit.
My point I'm trying to make is that if as a believers, on a believer standpoint, if they have no vision, they're gonna perish. That's the Bible
Yes.
says, you know, the lack of vision, you know what I mean? We perish. So if a son growing up is growing up used to just winging it, used to just figuring it out on the way, what you think he gonna bring into the relationship?
Right.
You know, I don't care how
Right.
much money he
Nothing.
got. You have nowhere to go. You have nothing. And then the woman gonna say, look, I'm sitting here, I'm waiting on you so I can get this thing together. And you never give her a vision. So she go creates her own thing.
Yeah. And
Now when you finally wake up, I gotta put down what I done did, you know, to push
Devil
you.
is a lie. I'm putting the doggone thing down by my burdens.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's a whole chaotic thing.
But you know what? I got a controversial thought.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Come on, that's what we're here for.
So you know how you guys were talking about how with the guys,
Mhm.
they well, Tamara, you were saying about how like a woman has her stuff together, how it was a double standard because when he has his son, how's he going to tell his son about like men wanting to be needed and all that stuff here? I personally feel that it is a setup. I don't think anyone needs to be needed.
Okay.
Hey, this is what I mean. Because if I need you, that means I cannot function without you. That
Right.
means that
You're not whole.
Right. That means that the whole weight of my happiness, my
Rests on
survival, my
Yeah.
very being rests on you. And I personally think that that is an unfair expectation to put on
Yes, it
someone.
is. It's
Because-
unrealistic.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is because there is no way, there is nobody on this earth that can carry the weight of you needing them along with them being there for themselves.
Mm.
Right. It's just too much.
Well, then-
It's too much to ask for a person.
It's too much. So then you're setting yourself up for the infidelity, the failure, the depression, and all of these things because you have one person that feels like, I mean, no matter what I do, I can't win. I feel like my head is barely touching the surface. And then you have the other individual that's like, you're never there for me. I mean, you're never, you know, you know what I mean? So I feel like if we teach our kids, yo, baby girl, you go out there and every dream that you have set for yourself, you accomplish that for yourself. You do not need anyone, but it is a beautiful life when you can have people to enjoy life with.
Yeah.
Then it
There,
takes the
yeah.
responsibility of that child growing up feeling like you owe me happiness.
Owe me something.
You
Yeah.
you owe me getting me what I want, and you owe me. And then it takes the weight off of the men feeling as if I'm literally not starting at ground zero. I'm like 6 levels beneath, trying to dig myself up just to get to ground zero
Yeah.
to be able to fulfill all of the things that are on me to be fulfilled. You know what I mean? So then a man won't have to desire to feel needed. He could work on getting himself together. And then when he gets himself together, then he can go out and find his good thing. And in
Yes.
finding his good thing will already be complete
Yeah.
Right.
because she does not need him, but she will welcome him to go with him. He doesn't need her. He set himself up, but he wants her. So he went to find her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I feel like if we come from
Yes.
that
Makes perfect
perspective,
sense.
more so
That's
than the double standards like you guys were talking about they have out there in society, I don't think that there would be that much confusion or feeling as if well, I mean, I ain't gonna be able to do it no way. So this what I got. Might as well. So
But there has to be balance.
Yeah.
There has to be balance because
Absolutely.
at the same time, you don't want your daughter to be so, I want to be careful of how I say it because I don't want to sound a certain way, but you don't want her to be so independent to where she wouldn't be considered attractive or because there's some women that exude masculine energy because of how independent they are, and they voice it that they're so independent. I don't need you, and I don't, they kind of exude that masculine energy, and some men aren't attracted to that, which is fine. That's their right. They could be attracted to whatever they want to be attracted to. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's almost as if she could just you can exist on your own, but it's better when you have someone to share it with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in that sense, yes, I don't need you to buy me a house or do this or whatever, pay my bills, but I could do it for myself, but I would love to have you to share so we can put our success together and create something, bigger than what both of us had individually. Together we're greater. You know what I'm saying? So together we'd be bigger and better together. Yeah. Even though we'd be fine individually, but together we'd be bigger and better. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Kind of. Like not.
So like when you're saying like not to be too independent or too, so that she doesn't exude masculinity, why would that be a bad thing? Because if a man goes to find his good thing, wouldn't she be a good thing for a man who is at that level with her? Of where she could be her authentic kind of independent self, and
but sometimes maybe that necessarily doesn't have to be her authentic self though. That could be because this is way you taught her. Yeah. This is your expectation on her. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a burden on her. My dad taught me to be this. I have to be this. This is what he said. My mom said this. I saw my mom do this. My mom was a single woman and she did this so I have to. It doesn't necessarily mean that's her authentic self. So that could mask her. You know what I'm saying? She could be masked, trying to fulfill your expectations of her. And then therefore, somebody else is like,
you end up with G.I. Joe when she
she gonna put me in a headlock. I don't want to be with her. She too,
But I does not for that. No, that was G.I.
That's who she is. If that's who she is authentically, there is the man authentically for her that understands everything about her. Like you were saying, Ave, that understands that yes, she's strong. Yeah, she can do this on her own. And oh my gosh, to me, that's so sexy. That's who I want right there. Yeah, there's definitely men out. You know what I'm saying? That's not intimidated by her strength. Yeah.
And that's the man that she needs to be trying to look for as a first, somebody's not intimidated.
That's the man who need to find her.
Yeah, that's the man that needs to find her because like if you got all this stuff going on for you and I got all this going on for me and I don't have to give you anything, do you know how liberating it is for a man?
That's and what I say. Vernon,
when a man doesn't have to go into a relationship already knowing that he has to do everything for the woman.
Provide. I would think. Yeah, I would think that would be liberating.
If I don't have to do everything and you got yours and we can put our stuff together, we gonna be able to be a powerhouse.
We good. Right, we good.
If we do it the right way, of course, Christ being ahead, and even if you ain't saved or whatever, you do it the right way. You got a decent head on your shoulder where you can think through dumb stuff, and you have a mindset to be able to prosper in some type of way, shape, form, or fashion. You're not gonna mess that up.
But I know a lot of people, a lot of women. 3 people popped in my mind when y'all said that. They were taught that the woman is supposed to stay home, take care of the kids, don't work, blah, blah, blah. Not saying that is not a job all in itself, because it is.
It absolutely is a job. Exactly. It would drive me crazy. That's why I can't do it.
And can't. But
so think about this. With this though, I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you finish, right? But yes, that makes a lot of sense. But how many zeros do you have to have after a 1 or a 2 your paycheck or your yearly income in order
Yeah,
for
and
one
today-
person to be able to, and in order for one person to stay home like that. The way society is set up now, if you don't have more than one income coming in, then like
You're not gonna be comfortable.
you're
Right,
not
can't
going to be
at all.
comfortable.
Comfortably.
Yeah,
But get what y'all just even in that that don't change their mindset. I was raised to stay home, to take care of the kids, to not work, to make sure, and then they don't even halfway do that. Cook, clean, whatever, because I've been
Yes.
all this time. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You know, so
Man
It's-
eating hungry man for dinner.
I know, right?
you know,
TV
I'm
dinners all the
telling you,
time.
three people
Right.
come to mind, and they're adamant that my mom taught me to stay home, cook and clean, and whatever bills he got, I manage it. And then think about it though, they probably don't know how to manage the money. Probably don't know how to cook and clean. I mean, they should if that's what your mom taught you to do. But a lot of times in today's society, a lot of them women don't know how to cook, clean, take care of things like that, budget, stuff like that.
Uh-oh.
They don't know that. This is a different
DoorDash is full.
'Cause
generation.
it wasn't
That's
taught
on them.
to them.
Yeah.
It wasn't
That's
taught
on
to them.
them.
No, it's not even that it's on them. All of that
It's
stuff went out. All of that stuff went out of the window about 30 years ago. To be honest with
No.
you, Where-
It's
where those-
still in the
where-
house.
it's still there, but how you got the internet in the palm of your hands at all times?
But that don't mean that
Why
they
can't you-
bring
why
in
can't you-
income.
Why can't you?
It's
Even if
conditioning.
you ain't got no income, and I'm bringing income, and I'm bringing bacon in and all this stuff, whatever. You can find a recipe to learn how to cook that bacon.
He lying now, y'all. I'm with him on that one.
We agree.
It's
we
true.
agree.
It's true.
Yeah,
But
you're right
it's
about that.
when you're conditioned a
Come
certain
on.
way, it doesn't matter,
It doesn't matter.
what you see on the internet. Think about people that are in religious cults.
Yeah.
There's information all over the place,
That's
but
true.
they're still in their cult, right? Because
Yeah.
they're conditioned a certain way and they believe
mindset.
wholeheartedly what they're doing, and nothing you can say or do will deter
Yeah.
them from doing it. It's kind of like the same way. Like that's
Yeah,
what
you got a
know.
point.
Grandma did it, mama did it, and that's what you need to take care of me. And
That's it. I'm
That's
not
why I
working.
said that's
I'm
on
not-
them.
Yeah.
that's on them. So that's you do you
That is
boo.
for the
You find a
person.
man that
Been
can
there,
take
done
care
that.
of you
That was
while you
right.
stay at home
Exactly, and
and
that,
take
and
care
that,
of the kids.
and that's the part that the men right now in society are looking at and having to deal with these, whether it's a double standard, it's a triple standard, or a single standard. These are the things that a lot of men and in today's society are looking at. It's like, I got to do everything for this woman, and
Yes.
she ain't bringing nothing to the table, and like now she expect me
But
to
her
be-
good looks, look, her
Yeah,
good
that's all
looks.
she
and her-
She think that
That's not
all
fake.
she got to do is be a companion and look good all the time, but you ain't helping me do nothing for real. And if we got kids, like, are the kids fed? Are the kids clothed? Are they clean?
Yeah.
Am I able to come home and say, yo, I can bring home all of this stuff or whatever, but is my house spotless when I get home? Are my kids like, if the kids been taken to school, are they done their homework and all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? If I got to do all this stuff on my own, bringing all the money in, what can you do on your side? I don't need you to just be sitting here looking at me or whatever. You got to put even if you at home, do some type of work.
You see me? I
That's
see you.
the same
I'm
with
sorry, but
some men.
that's
Some
it.
men
Like-
are sitting home too now.
And-
Some men
and-
are sitting
and-
home too.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I didn't have I always had a working man's mentality. I always had to figure out a way to get some type of money within legal means since I was 16 years old. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
let's emphasize legal.
Yeah.
Legal means.
Within legal means. I'm trying to make it happen within some type of legal means. I ain't out here on the corner trying to slang nothing to nobody. I ain't trying to sell nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it's hard for me to respect guys who allow the work. Let me put it like this. It's hard for me to, not that I was about to say something wrong. It's hard for me to respect guys who don't go out and at least try.
Oh yes.
If you can't get out the game for more than 3 hours, so you can at least go fill out a job application, so you can get online and put a resume or something together, and you think that all your life depends on is letting somebody else take care of you and all of that stuff, whatever, you're not a man in my book when you do that.
No, and you're not fit to lead. No.
You're not a man. You're not a leader. But every
You can
man
lead
has
Thomas to the
leadership
playground.
qualities, but where are they? Why are you allowing everybody else to do something for you?
Right.
Now you're using people instead of going out there trying to make something happen for yourself.
Yeah.
I can't wholeheartedly respect guys that do that. Now, if you have some type of
But that's the double
enabling
standard.
disability or
Men
something.
or women can do that.
Exactly, but if you're having some type of disability or something like that where it won't allow you to do
Right.
something like that, that's a whole different story. But if you got all 10 of your toes, all 10 of your fingers, and your arms work, and they not just with a joystick or something in your hands or whatever, you can go out and do something to make something for yourself first. Or if you already in a situation where you're living with a woman, don't let her take care of you. You better get up and try and figure out something. If you are a stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home boyfriend or whatever it is, bro, when that woman come home, make sure she got a bath run for her,
Come
got
on.
dinner or something already made
Come
on
on
the table
now.
ready
House
or
is
whatever.
good.
Make sure that when
Yeah.
she get home, all she gotta do is take her shoes off, get in the tub, get a back rub or whatever, get something to eat, and
Hey.
she can go to sleep happy, knowing that okay, just because he ain't working, he at least doing something in the house. Something
Yes.
something that has been done while I was gone.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't
I'm
got
not
no
about to go
dishes
to
in the
work
sink.
and come home.
I ain't got no clothes that's piled up and falling all over the hamper and all that stuff because he did the laundry. You know what I'm saying? He's taking out the trash. He's doing something. You know, if that's the case, don't just be sitting there on the game using up electricity and air and space and all that stuff because you ain't doing neither one of y'all no good.
Right. I personally wouldn't choose that type of relationship, but yes, if that's how it's gonna be, that's how it need to be.
Exactly.
But you need to go to work, okay?
Absolutely.
But
Don't
like we
worry.
know that the Bible does say if a man don't eat, if a man don't work, he don't eat. So if why are you at somebody's house eating for free and you ain't did nothing?
Come on.
Now,
Yeah.
if you doing something inside of the house and that's considered your work, then I can understand.
work,
Okay,
then
you're
that's work.
working, then you're eating. But if you just at home and you ain't got no job and just dirt and dust and debris is piling up all around you and everything, bro, you finna be 50 pounds lighter messing with me. If I'm the woman, I'm just putting myself in that situation, and that's the situation I'm in. And you in my house, before I let that happen as a woman, you getting out first, bro.
Come on now.
But
I know
a lot of
women. But if we're conditioned from a young age
Yes.
to accept that, and that's okay, then that's what it's gonna be. You
That's
know,
on
because it ain't like it don't exist. It
Yeah,
exists today.
it definitely exists. It definitely exists, and that goes both. And it goes to
Both ways.
that goes for those trophy wives and everything. You know what I'm saying? All you think
Absolutely.
all you supposed to be is cute because your man makes all the
Absolutely.
money and he don't want you doing anything or whatever. You ain't,
Absolutely.
and then he still got to come home and cook and clean and do all this and that and the third. And he got to try and get intimacy from you. But all you worried about is being on social media trying to be cute and all this and that and third or whatever. But that's like Kim was saying, that's the conditioning. Like if people are conditioned to those type of situations, we heard an analogy a long time ago about the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus and all that stuff, whatever. You take an elephant that roams the African plains all day long, all night long and all that stuff, and then you bring them to a place and you put a chain around their neck. And they've been so conditioned to have that chain around their neck for so long that when you take the chain off their neck, they don't know where they're coming and going. They can't move forward because now they're a product of their surroundings.
The conditioning. Mm-hmm.
That what they've been conditioned to do. I can only go in this one circle because that's as far as this chain is gonna let me go. But if once I take this chain off, I'm still in this same circle, not knowing that I'm free of something.
Yeah. Wow. Listen, guys, this show has gone, I don't know how long and went on for. And I didn't even want to interrupt because it was just so good. So this is going to be longer. This is longer than what we usually do. But we don't have Vernon on here very often. You know, we've had Vernon and Daniel on before. And I think this is something that we should probably start doing, including more male input, because some of our viewers are like, we need to hear some male perspective too. So we're trying to give you what you want, okay? So while we're giving you what you want, make sure you continue to give us what we want. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Don't forget to share. Vernon, we thank you so much for being on here today with us.
Thank you.
All that you said, all your input. It was wonderful, amazing. And we love it. So yeah, guys, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody. Tell somebody about our show. We are up to what is it? 205 subscribers.
Come
Yes,
on,
we
come
know
on.
it's not. It
We
may
can
not
get
be
them- we can
much
get
to
them
you,
numbers.
but guess what? It's much to us.
Come on,
Okay,
come on.
we gonna
We can get them numbers up.
celebrate.
Bit here is a lot.
Help the
Yes.
channel out.
Okay.
It's positive. Help the channel out, people. Like,
Yes.
share, subscribe, like hit that notification bell so you do not miss out, because
Absolutely.
these topics are some serious. And I was just fortunate enough to be able and to come on, and I won't even say this is a blessing. I was fortunate enough to be in the presence of these lovely young ladies and what
Y'all heard what he said.
So y'all keep on subscribing, y'all keep on liking these posts and all this stuff, and keep tuning in, because you'll get
Yes.
something. You'll get something. There's something for everybody, and we be talking. Just know that.
Come on
Y'all
now.
heard what he
Thank
said.
you.
So on that note,
Yes.
we love you.
And Sheikah, we
Y'all
miss
next
you,
time.
girl.